Hi everybody, it's Lisa Marie here. Hi my sweet lifers. Listen, I don't know if you guys are still last minute Valentines in it, but I have got a great idea for you that always seems to please anybody that receives this gift, and it's super, super easy. And it's actually something that you can keep doing all year long and just have on hand. What I did was I just got finished making my flower arrangements for the house. I'm getting ready to take right behind this one the Valentine's home tour, so you can see that. You can see the little decorations that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks for the house for that. And then by doing that, I actually ended up with a broken rosebud that's here. And I always, whenever I'm done with my flowers, I'll actually just take the roses out of the flowers that you buy at the store, and I'll tear them off and I'll put them in a little flat tray, or even on the counter for that matter, and just keep sort of sifting through them for a little bit so that they can dry and not get moldy. So you kind of keep them separated and kind of shift them a little bit. But what you end up with is this, which if you guys are into crafts and you know, then you'll know that you actually have places that you can buy this stuff, but you can actually make it yourself. So you end up with these guys, and that's what you're going to need today, because what we're going to make is a rose milk bath for Valentine's Day. So the Sweet Life DIY this week is that. And it's super, super simple. You need to get a bowl of dried powdered milk, a bowl of Epsom salts, some essential oils, and some dried rose petals. And that's all you need. If you want to package it up pretty, I actually have this little tin can that I got a couple of years ago. And because I was just doing the flower arrangements, I actually saved that wrapping that's in the flowers, which is always kind of interesting. Over the years, I've wrap newborn babies in this stuff. It's really wonderful to use as a filler for babies, but it's also great to use as an extra like that. Look at that, how good that looks. As an extra decoration for your packaging when you get ready to do that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cup of the powdered milk, and then I'm going to take a cup of the Epsom salts. And, you know, the other thing you can do this with everything. You've seen me do it with lavender. There's another cup of dried milk and another cup of Epsom salts. And pretty much I sort of go through and alternate. It's 50-50 on this in terms of your recipe per se. But I did the lavender milk baths a couple of years ago, right when the channel started, and people ask me for that every year for Christmas. So it's one of those things that's just really nice for Mother's Day teachers' gifts. It's just a really neat gift to give. So once you've gotten that as much as you want to do with it, and this is going to be enough for what we're doing, because we're just going to fill this up today for you guys to see how to make it, is you're going to want to take your essential oil, and I really, instead of doing the droppers, I actually pour it in. So just pour it in like that, and be real generous, because the more generous you are with it, in fact, honestly, I think I'll just use all of it. I'll have to order some more of that. So probably that's about a tablespoon of essential oil of rose. Get yourself a spoon and stir that in so that your mixture is very, very combined between the milk and the salt. And then what you want to do is you're going to sprinkle in some rose petals, and I'll show you that in just a second. But what's interesting is that, you know, whenever we go up on the north side of Texas, I love to go to those boutiques. And in those boutiques, sometimes you'll walk in and the whole place just smells so good. And what's happened is somebody's made this stuff, and they charge quite a bit for it. And really, it's just, I wanted to show you how simple it is to make it. It is just the easiest thing in the world, and so much more economical to just do it yourself. And what's cool too is that if you wanted to do, you could do a peppermint milk bath for Christmas. You could do a peony for spring and Easter. But for Valentine's, I thought there wouldn't be anything more appropriate than the rose. And I had just dried those rose petals, so I wanted to show you that too, because a lot of times people are like, well, where am I going to get the rose petals? Just dry them yourself. It's really easy. So that's good and mixed up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, and I did this so I could show you. This is, like I said, leftover from this morning making the arrangements, but what I'll do is I'll keep shifting these around so that they don't get moldy. And you just peel them off just like that, And so if you've got a rose that made it to your house and it was already broken at the stem, don't throw that rose away. You can use this rose for that. And honestly, with Valentine's being tomorrow, because I can't believe that's the case, tomorrow already, um, if you've got a rose here and there, guys, that you have that broke when you're putting your arrangement together for your wife or your sweetheart, you can just toss those in the tub and run some bubbles. And that makes for a very romantic evening. So there's a little tip for you guys. So just do that. Tear them apart and then make sure that they do not touch for a couple of days longer than you want to keep stirring them up so they don't just get sticky and moldy. See, some of this right here is probably not good. So I would just rip that off right there and just lay that in there and toss that in the trash. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take your rose petals that are dried, and I like to take them like this, and it kind of reminds me of when I was a kiddo and we were playing in the sandbox. Scrunch them up so that they get torn apart. So you've got little itty bitty bits of roses. It's not so great for cleaning the tub, but it does make for a beautiful milk bath. In the glass jars, if you're going to package it up that way, they really look lovely. But the other thing is, in this particular case, the packaging is more about Valentine's than the actual stuff that's going on in it. But I will say that you can decorate very, very nicely with this in a clear container, or even in a bag, a clear bag with a pretty ribbon on it. It doesn't have to have one of those cans. So get probably about I've got about a cup in here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use up all of this for this particular batch. The other day I made 64 candles. It was on a Saturday afternoon, and I had more of these rose petals, and I did a whole bunch of these. And so whenever I do gifts, I can do a milk bath and a candle, and I always like to match them up. So if I'm doing a lavender milk bath, I'll do a lavender candle to go with it. And you can find the episode on candle making. There's a couple of those, but there's one, the last one we just did was with my daughter Victoria Ann on another Sweet Life DIY, I think the end of December. So it's almost done. So that uses those guys up, which is exactly what you want. If you're going to be making stuff, you want to keep your supplies going, but take a minute, take an afternoon, and make everything up so that whenever somebody comes by and you realize it's their birthday or some special occasion, or even a housewarming gift, and you want to just give them something really, really lovely, there's nothing better than a homemade gift, that's for sure. So once this is all mixed up, you can see how pretty that is. We've got all those different rose petals and all the milk bath mixed up, and it smells. I wish you guys could have smell-o-vision because it smells so good. What you want to do is I'm going to go back in with the same cup that I was using to mix it up. I'm going to take a bag, and I've just taken a bag and cut the part off of the bag that actually needs to seal it up. And you can leave that on if you want to, but for you guys today, I did that because it would be prettier and easier for you to see what I'm doing. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop this and put this in this bucket, just like that. Look at how pretty that is, guys. So nice. Such a nice gift. And you don't have to go to the store and bite people for what's been picked over. You can literally just make this just that quick. I mean, look how beautiful that is. And then what you want to do, you do want to seal it up because you do not want the essential oils to, first off, smell all over your house. Well, maybe you do if you like roses. But the other thing is it'll keep it better if you do tie it down. Or, like I said before, if you wanted to go ahead and keep that bag where it is sealable. But for me, I'm going to take this right straight to my bathroom for myself because I've already done all my gifts for everybody else, and I was out of rose bath for myself, so I thought, well, that's my Valentine's present to me. So there's that. And the next thing is I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this, like I showed you before, I'm going to take this out, and then I'm going to lay this in, and then I'm going to tuck it down a little bit so it's not so big, and then I'm going to take that bag and stick it right down in there just like that. And then all you gotta do, guys, is just pick up some chocolate or a bottle of champagne or whatever you're thinking. And there you go. You've got a really nice Valentine's present. So I hope you guys found some value in this. I hope that you'll try it at least. I mean, it really is so easy to do, and it is so well received. I can't tell you how many people ask me for it. They're like, have you got any more of that? Whatever it was I was making, and I'm always trying to go in the closet and see if I've got any extra because I'm always giving it away. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, like and share. Don't forget to ring the bell, and we'll see you next time on another Sweet Life DIY. Take care.